Did you know that we as a church have abandoned one of the 10 commandments? Shocked? Check this out. God gave the 10 commandments on a mountain when he wrote them with his very own finger. Seriously, the finger of God wrote these things onto 2 stone tablets. Jesus repeated them when he said to love God above all else and love your neighbor as yourself. For thousands of years, they've been a guiding moral compass to many different religious systems, including Christians. Yet, most of us don't even realize that we have abandoned one. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Ironic, the only one that starts with the word remember is the one we choose to forget. Crazy, right? There's something extra special about this one. If you think about it, it came before the law and before sin. That's right, after God finished creating, he rested. Was he tired? Weak? Come on, he's God. He didn't need to rest on the 7th day, but he did it as an example for us to follow. He knew we would need it. In fact, Jesus said that this one was made especially for us, not just another law for us to keep. God even says that this time of rest will exist in the new heaven and new earth after he comes back. But I know, you're thinking, if it's so important, why did we forget it? What happened to it? Well, many pastors and scholars will probably tell you what they told me when I first realized this truth. They'll say things like, the Sabbath was a Jewish thing, and we don't do that anymore. But then you say, wait, wasn't it around at creation over 2,000 years before Abraham, the first Jew? So they shift the goalpost and then say something like, well, the Sabbath was part of the law that was nailed to the cross. And you say, if the 10 commandments were nailed to the cross, then does that mean you think it's fine now to lie, steal, kill, and cheat on your spouse? Of course they don't. That line is just to avoid one commandment, not all 10. Problem is, you can't separate or erase the thing that God wrote with his own finger into stone. So once again, they shift the goalposts and tell you some grand story about how it was changed by the disciples from Saturday to Sunday in order to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. But there are 3 serious problems with this claim. Number 1, the earliest historical record of any change wasn't until 300 years after the time of Christ, and it came from a Roman emperor, not the disciples. If God made the 7th day holy at creation, put it in the 10 commandments, re-emphasized it through Jesus, and then says it will still be around in the new heaven and the new earth, then what human being has the authority to override him? No one. Second problem is that in the book of Acts, the Bible shows the disciples, apostles, and early church keeping the Sabbath over 85 times. Maybe they forgot. Maybe that's not enough. You'd think somebody would have been a little clearer when it comes to this pretty major change. Third problem, even if it had been legitimately changed, what happened to the whole day of rest? Instead of giving the day to God, now we maybe go to a church service on Sunday, then do whatever we want after that. So much for God's holy day being moved to Sunday. We can cherry-pick Bible verses all day long to make ourselves feel better, and God won't stop us. But if we are willing to conform ourselves to his word instead of conforming his word to our tradition, we just might start to see what transformation really looks like. I really want to share more about this with you, so check out this study on this topic and many more called Foundations. And remember, don't be afraid to table your current beliefs just for a moment while you investigate biblical truth. You will never be disappointed. Plus, you can always pick them back up again if you decide it's all trash. Visit us at rrfaithministries.org.